Alright team, and welcome back to Coach's Corner. Came through to the big gym. I needed a bigger board because we're going to try and cover two of the What is Fitness lectures, articles that are in the CrossFit Level 1. Okay, so just like last time, I'm going back to where we started just to talk about some of the foundations of why we do what we do. Okay, so the two parts we've got today are the 10 general physical skills, something that you may not have seen since either the last Coach's Corner or your foundations. And this used to be the cornerstone of the foundations. We talked a lot about this. And then we've got the hopper model, again, something that was a previous Coach's Corner, so something we're going to dive into again. And they both kind of link together quite well, so I thought they'd go well together on the one board. So on the 10 general physical skills, we have obviously 10 here. So we've got strength, stamina, flexibility, CRE, power and speed, and then balance, agility, coordination, and accuracy. So what I'm going to do is just break down them all. We're going to have a little chat about what each one of them means, just in case you're ever in class and you hear it and you wonder, what does that actually mean? And then a little bit about why it's important to us. Okay, so if we go through the 10, we've got strength first, so that is our top end strength. What is the most amount of force output our muscles can make in one movement, one contraction there. Stamina, so we'll come with stamina and CRE kind of together here because they're kind of linked and there's a little bit of confusion about the two of them. Okay, so stamina is your ability to work out or exert effort for a long period of time. Okay, so doing a long run, long workout, it's all about continual effort over a long period of time. Now, cardiorespiratory endurance, or CRE, is more to do with, because when you think of endurance, you think long, okay? And there is part of that to it, but cardiorespiratory endurance is your body's ability to deliver oxygenated blood around the body for a long period of time, okay? So it's your endurance about being able to do that and your body coping with delivering oxygenated blood around all your muscles, everywhere it needs it, for a workout, for long periods of effort there as well. So hopefully that makes sense for the two of them there, okay? Then we've got flexibility. Hopefully we should all know a little bit of that, something we all need to work on probably. It's just a bit of range of movement through a joint, okay? How much flexibility we have through those joints. I'm gonna leave power and speed for now, come back to them in a second. And then we've got, on the other side, we've got balance, agility, coordination, accuracy. So balance is about maintaining your balance in multiple planes, okay? So it's not just about can you stand on one leg, okay? It's also about can you maintain your balance when holding an external load. So you've done a clean, the bar is in that frontal plane. Can you then stop yourself from looking forward, back, side to side? Okay, so it's not just about single leg and all those kind of movements. It's all movements. Can you keep your body in a balanced, stable position through any movement, external load or not? Okay. Agility is your ability to stop, start, change direction and change different speeds. Okay, so it's not just about when you do the agility ladder and you're trying to get your feet in as fast as you can, it's also about can you change direction, slowing, stopping, starting up again. Okay, all about changing speed and direction there. Coordination is just your ability to coordinate your body in actions. Okay, so when we're doing cleans, can you get down to the deadlift? Can you do your high pull? Can you coordinate that bar turning over? All those kind of things. Can you, when you're running, coordinate your body to keep that train of motion going? All right, and then accuracy, not just can you hit the wall ball target? Okay, that's the common one. It's like, if I've got good accuracy, I can hit the wall ball target every time. But it's also about how you execute movements. Okay, have you got accuracy in the sort of fine motor skills that you're using to create the bigger movements? Okay, so accuracy also about how you move as well. Okay, and we come into the middle. So the ones on the left here, we call kind of sort of physical adaptations. They're stuff that we get better at by training. So we do back squats, percentages, we do sets and reps, we train really hard, we push ourselves in rowing intervals, we do all that kind of thing. And that helps us get better at these because we train to do those things. And the stuff in the blue is neurological adaptations. So these are all things that we need practice for, okay? Yes, you will see adaptations by training, okay? You'll be doing your workouts, but these things tend to need less intensity in order to get better, okay? So when we do our agility drills, sometimes we really ramp up the intensity, but it doesn't always start that way. We always try and get some reps in there where we're working on stuff that's like slowing down, starting, all that good stuff as well, okay? These things require intent in practice, okay? So I want to just define the difference between the two of them there, okay? So physical adaptations, more neurological adaptations, okay? Power and speed falls somewhere in the middle, okay? So power is your ability. They're kind of interlinked here because speed is obviously about how quickly you can do something. How quickly can you run? How quickly can you contract muscles, all those kind of things. At a deeper level, it's about contracting muscles and speed there, okay? And power comes from taking external loads and your body as well, and how quickly can you move a load with speed, okay, and that can include your body, external, all that kind of thing as well. So they fall in the middle because they require both, okay. You can be you can have all the muscles in the world, okay, and every part of you should be able to run fast, but if you don't have balance and coordination, you're going nowhere. You're just going to trip over your own feet, okay. Same with power as well. You can have loads and loads of strength, loads and loads of stamina, all that good stuff as well. You might not be able to clean because you don't have the accuracy of the movement, you don't have balance in that plane, all that kind of stuff as well. So they kind of need both, and they get better by both training and practice. All right, so hopefully that makes sense about what each one means. What is really important to us in CrossFit is with the whole what is fitness, it's about defining fitness terms. Okay, there's something they say at the level 1 that if you, previous to CrossFit and previous to a lot of fitness programs, if you looked up someone who was fit in the dictionary, it just meant absence of disease, okay? We're obviously way past that now. We know there's loads of other things that mean someone is physically fit, okay? So with this one, CrossFit said, if you are fit across these 10 general physical skills, you can consider yourself fit. But we're only as fit as our weakest one of these, okay? So we were to plot a graph of all 10 of these and draw a line across all of them. Wherever we have some ones that fall slightly behind, that brings our average across the 10 down, okay? So you might have super duper strength, super duper speed, maybe you're quite coordinated, you can't hit a wall ball target, that obviously brings you back down, okay? Maybe your flexibility isn't good. All those kind of things will play into your overall round fitness, all right? So we never really want to have weaknesses in CrossFit, although we all do. We don't want to have too many weaknesses that bring down our overall general fitness. Now that comes down to a couple of things. So number one is programming is really important, okay? When people bash a little bit in CrossFit in terms of it looks random, okay? What we talk about in CrossFit is there's variance, all right? And variance allows us to tackle all 10 of these general physical skills at once, okay? So across the week, we tackle loads of these different things in different ways, different intent, different intensity, and that allows us to generally get you fitter across all 10 of these, all right? So that's 10 general physical skills. Hopefully that makes a little bit of sense about what each one were and kind of where they play their role. Obviously, on any given session, you're probably working multiple of these, okay? Maybe some sessions are more focused on certain things, but as a programming and across a week, a block, we are trying to get you fitter across all 10 of these to bring around your all-round fitness, all right? So 10 general physical skills. I'm gonna hop over the side and we'll talk hopper model now. So this is a hopper, in case you couldn't guess. And what we're gonna imagine is that I have plugged in loads and loads and loads of workouts, fitness tests, distances, rep schemes, frequency, loading, everything, and we're going to chuck it in a big drum. It was a big drum they used at the first CrossFit Games, but even think about like a bingo wheel and you're getting numbers and things like that. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull out workouts, fitness tests, whatever it may be, okay? And what CrossFit is aiming to do, based on these 10 general physical skills, is to get you as good as possible at everything, okay? Now, you're never going to be an expert at one thing, okay? We try and avoid having one thing that stands way above everything else, and there's a reason for that, okay? So what I've got written up on the board here is I've got a strong man, so typical Eddie Hall, big strong person, deadlift 500, whatever it was. I've got a marathon runner in there, someone who excels at long distance, think, you know, sub 3, maybe even 2 to 2.5 hours marathon, really, really fast marathon runner there. And then I've got you, okay, CrossFit athlete, the general population, and by the way, general population, don't count yourself as that actually, by coming to CrossFit 3 to 5 times a week, taking an interest in your recovery habits and your nutrition and things like that, you're already in the top percentile of the general population, so we're going to stick you in here. You, CrossFit athlete, all right? Now what we're going to do here is, CrossFit is, we train for the unknowable and everything, okay? So what we're going to hope, or what we're going to see play out here is, the more workouts I pull out of this, the CrossFit athlete against the strongman, the marathon runner, is eventually going to come out on top of these as an all-round athlete. Okay, and that's why I've got all-rounder down there. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to just quickly note down some placings based on first, second, third, who would finish first, second, third in certain workouts. All right, so we'll start off with a nice and simple one. We're going to go the CrossFit total. Okay, and the CrossFit total, we're going to go 1 rep max deadlift, back squat, and press. Based on what we know, the likelihood is the strong man is going to come in first place. Okay, makes sense. Super strong, they're going to come in first. All right, the marathon runner, okay, despite their ability to run for a long distance, probably does not have maximal big strength, okay, which means the likelihood is the CrossFit athlete is going to finish in second and the marathon runner is going to finish in third. Okay, so nice and simple, CrossFit total there. All right, then we're going to go in and we're going to take another classic workout, 5K. 5K for time. we're going to look at this, okay? So now based on the marathon runner, even though they've got long distance, they will be able to run a 5K, sharpish, all right? So we're going to imagine they finish first. I think between you and Eddie Hall, I got a funny feeling that you're going to beat Eddie Hall in a race. So we're going to go CrossFit second, strongman third. All right, so starting to see a little bit of a pattern here about being an all-rounder. So now we're going to take an actual workout now. So we've got deadlift, we've got the 5K. Now we're going to take a workout like Fran, okay? 21:59, thrusters and pull-ups, okay? CrossFitter is going to win that workout, hands down. Short time domain, even if the strongman can get through the thrusters quite quickly, they probably do not have the upper body strength to be able to hold on to multiple or 45 pull-ups, whatever it may be, okay? So they might be able to rip through that, but with it being a really short time domain, I would hazard a guess that they're going to blow up pretty quickly in the 15, all right? Because they don't have that kind of, being able to hold that intensity there, all right? So based on what we know, I'm going to assume that the marathon runner probably can't do that many thrusters at a heavy weight, okay? Being a generalist there, or elite marathon runner, and they probably can't batter out 45 pull-ups, all right? So we're going to assume that that marathoner probably finishes last, just maybe, if they can hold on. The strongman's going to finish second, and I'm going to say that the CrossFit athlete is going to finish in first, all right? Because it's a workout that they know, all right? So maybe starting to see that pattern a bit more now, okay? So now we're going to take maybe a slightly longer CrossFit workout, all right? So let's have a think about something like, let's think of an upper one. Let's take today's workout, okay? Today's workout is 10 rounds for time, 300 meter run, 10 pull-ups, okay? Now, this marathon runner is probably going to smoke me on the run, okay, because they're super, super fast, but again, I don't think they've got the capacity to do 100 pull-ups, all right? So the strong man I'm going to rule out right away because of the 3K worth of running in there, so I'm going to assume that I'm going to take the win. The marathoner's got enough speed in them that they probably get through the pull-ups, and the strong man's going to struggle a little bit at the back, all right? So starting to see the pattern even more now, okay? So we'll take another one. Let's try and favour the strong man a little bit in this one. So let's take a workout that's got a heavy barbell in it, okay? Something like Diane, okay? 21:59, heavy deadlift and handstand push-ups, okay? So we're trying to favour the strong man in the CrossFit way, but that might be quite difficult because they can go 21 unbroken, no doubt about it. Eddie Hall's got a 500 kg deadlift. There's no way he can't go unbroken on that. Can he do handstand push-ups? Probably not, all right? So based on that, I'm going to assume that CrossFitter's probably going to take the win on that one. The strong man, just based on the deadlift capacity, probably outlasts the marathon runner who maybe can't move that barbell quite as well. All right, so again, pattern a little bit more here. All right, so now we're going to take something like that's going to maybe try and help the marathon runner a little bit more. So we're going to go for a, let's think, 5K. Oh, I've got 5K already. Let's go a bit longer than that. Let's go a 10K row. All right, so we're getting ourselves a little bit long. We've already done a 5K run. We're going to go 10K row. Marathon runner probably wins that. If their technique's good, they should have the endurance to hold on to that. CrossFitter comes second. Strongman's probably not going to do too well at that one. All right, so that's probably enough events. Hopefully you get the gist of that there. I could just keep battering out events, okay? But what is key here is you will notice across the board, the CrossFitter has never finished last across the athletes here, okay? Because they have no deficiencies as such, or they're trying to be an all-rounder. They shouldn't have any workouts or time domains or loading or anything that allows them to be last in this scenario, okay? Whereas the strong man, because they're an expert, they've got last in some of the events where it requires quite a lot of endurance, and then the marathon runner has come last in some of the events that require a little bit more strength work, all right? So hopefully that's making sense, all right? So if I was to add these up, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 points there, okay? So we'd give them a 9. The marathon runner, we've got 3, 4, 7, 9, 12, 13, maths on the fly here. And then we've got our strong man, 4, 6, 9, 11, 14. All right, so based on that, if we were to total them up and lowest points was to win, the CrossFitter would come in first, the marathon runner would come in second, and our strongman come in third. And we could extend that out to 100 events. We could add in loads of different ones, all right? But the crux of that is being an all-rounder is what we're looking for in CrossFit, all right? So we have no deficiencies as such, okay? Nothing that is a massive weakness for us. Equally, nothing that maybe we have an absolute excel in, all right? But overall, we stand tall because we are good at most things and we are well-rounded at all right? And that's not just for, I know I gave out all CrossFit workouts there. I could probably put in some more things about life in there, okay? Running for the bus, all those kind of things, all right? And this is more for life as well. We want you to be as well-rounded an athlete and an individual as possible, not just because you can beat the strongman and the marathoner, but so that in life you are just ready for anything, you don't really have any weaknesses, and you just rock it. All right, hope that tracked well, team. Hope we've got a little bit of more information about the 10 general physical skills and the Hopper model. All right, I spoke in the last video about you throwing some ideas my way. I hope you find this useful. I'm trying to bring as much value to you as I can. So if there's anything that you want me to cover, whether it be maybe do some technique videos about certain things or talk about other topics, otherwise I'm just going to keep talking CrossFit, and maybe that's what you like. All right, team. So have a good one. Keep getting yourself in for class, and I will see you at the whiteboard soon.